Hello and welcome to Millennium Sports World. Today we will present local and international sports stories including basketball, tennis, boxing, golf, auto race, NFL, MLB, US soccer and world soccer. So let's find out what's waiting in today's sports world. At first, let's go for baseball stories. The Tampa Bay Rays extended Major League Baseball's best start in 20 years behind Jeffrey Springs' 7 innings of 3-hit ball and Randy Arozarena's 4 RBIs, routing the Oakland Athletics 11-0 Saturday for an 8-0 record. Tampa Bay is the first big league team to open 8-0 since the 2003 Kansas City Royals owned their first 9 games. The Rays have outscored opponents 64-18 and are the first team to win its first 8 games by 4 or more runs since the 1884 St. Louis Maroons of the Union Association did it in their first 13. No team had won 8 straight games by that margin at any point in a season since the 1939 Yankees did it 10 times in a row. Springs struck out 7. Shintaro Fujinami allowed 5 runs, 3 hits, 4 walks and hit a batter over 4 1/3 innings in his second major league start. Andres Munoz, who led AL relievers in strikeouts last season, was put on the 15-day injured list by the Seattle Mariners on Sunday because of a right deltoid strain. Munoz struck out 96 while going 2-5 with 4 saves and 2.49 ERA in 64 appearances last year. He had ankle surgery in November, which delayed his first spring training appearance until March 20. Munoz hasn't allowed a run in 3 1/3 innings this season. Manager Scott Survey said Munoz has felt soreness in the back of his shoulder. He didn't have his normal build-up in spring training, Survey said. He just hasn't felt great. We are playing the long game here. For us to be really good throughout the course of the season, we need him. The decision was made to give him a couple weeks downtime now and let him get back to what he is used to being. Right-hander Matt Fester was optioned to AAA Tacoma with a 10.80 ERA over 3 appearances in which he allowed 4 runs in 3 1/3 innings. Now latest NBA story. Brooklyn's Michael Bridges kept his Ironman streak alive Sunday, starting his 83rd game of the season before committing a foul and immediately checking out of the game after 4 seconds. Bridges was the only starter to play for either team when the Nets hosted the Philadelphia 76ers in their season final, a week before they will meet in the first round of the playoffs. Bridges was playing only to keep alive his streak of never missing a game in college or the pros. The game Sunday was his 392nd straight in the NBA and completed his longest regular season yet. He had played in 56 for Phoenix before being part of the trade for Kevin Durant on February 9, then started the Nets' final 27 games. The guard became the 42nd NBA player to play in 83 or more games in a season and first since Josh Smith for Detroit and Houston in 2014-15. Before the game, Nets coach Jack Vaughn revealed what his strategy would be for Bridges. Now latest NFL story. New Titans general manager Ran Carthon has made his biggest move yet by agreeing Friday to a 4-year contract extension with 2-time Pro Bowl defensive lineman Jeffrey Simmons, according to a person familiar with the deal. The Titans picked up the 2-time defensive captain's 5th-year option for 2023 for $10.76 million last April. The person confirmed the extension on condition of anonymity to the Associated Press because the Titans had not announced the deal. ESPN.com first reported the deal was worth up to $94 million with $66 million guaranteed, including a $24 million signing bonus. Agent Paul DeRosso did not return messages from the AP. He shared a photo of himself and Simons on social media, along with Simons' own social media post that he wasn't done in Tennessee. "We have so much work to do," Simons wrote. The 4-year extension gives some much-needed space under the salary cap for Tennessee, ranked 23rd in the NFL with $7.4 million, according to SportRank.com. The extension includes Simons' 5th-year option, keeping him under contract through 2027 for an annual average of $23.5 million per year. Simons was the 19th pick overall in the 2019 draft, dropping to Tennessee after tearing his left ACL in February, preparing for the draft. Now, latest hockey news. Jacob Quillan scored 10 seconds into overtime to give Quinnipiac a 3-2 victory over Minnesota for its first NCAA hockey title Saturday night. Quinnipiac trailed for more than 50 minutes and took its first lead of the game when Quillan moments into the extra period. The Bobcats owned the face-off to open OT, and Jack Metsa flipped a pass to a streaking Sam Lipkin, who fed Quillan for the winning goal. It was the first Frozen Four championship game to go to OT since 2011. John Mittelstadt scored from point-blank range with 14 minutes 25 seconds left in the first period, and Jackson Nelson gave Minnesota a 2-0 lead when he redirected a shot by Brock Faber that bounced off the wall into the net about 5 minutes into the second. Christophe Tellier's goal with 12 minutes 39 seconds left in the second period trimmed Quinnipiac's deficit to 2-1. With 3 minutes 28 seconds to play in regulation and the Gophers leading 2-1, Quinnipiac coach Rand Pecknold went with an empty net, and 41 seconds later Colin Graff, who leads the team with 21 goals this season but had yet to score in 3+ tournament game, to make it 2-2 and eventually force the extra period. The Bobcats outshot Minnesota 30-15 and had a 34-23 advantage in face-offs own. Now it's time for latest golf news. Tiger Woods withdrew from the Masters before the resumption of the third round because of an injury Sunday, ending his streak of completing all 72 holes of every tournament he has played at Augusta National as a professional. The tournament announced about 90 minutes before play began that Woods, who is still hobbled by the effects of the 2021 car accident that nearly cost him his right leg, had withdrawn. He had limped through practice rounds early in the week and again during the first and second rounds, but the limp had become more pronounced as the weather worsened. "I am disappointed to have to withdraw this morning due to re-aggravating my plantar fasciitis," Woods said on Twitter. "Thank you to the fans and to the Masters who have shown me so much love and support. Good luck to the players today." The 5-time champion finished his second round in cold, driving rain on Saturday to make the cut on the number at 3 over, extending his Masters streak to 23 straight and tying Fred Couples and Gary Player for the longest in history. The 47-year-old Woods headed back out for the start of the third round as temperatures struggled to reach 50 degrees, and it ended up being a waterlogged slog. Wearing a grey winter hat over a baseball cap, he started on the 10th hole with a bogey, added another at number 14, and then had back-to-back double bogeys after finding the water on numbers 15 and 16. Now, latest race story. Dutch rider Mathieu van der Poel won the grueling Paris Aerobics One-Day Classic for the first time on Sunday to clinch his second monument race victory of the season after Milan-San Remo. The 28-year-old Van der Poel profited from a puncture to his main rival Wout van Aert of Belgium, about 15 kilometers from the end. He entered the aerobics velodrome alone and had time to wave to the fans. Van der Poel finished 46 seconds ahead of Jasper Philipsen, his Alpecin Techunique teammate, who beat Van Aert in a sprint to the line. Incredible how we rode as a team today. It's not possible to do better than this, Van der Poel said. I think I had one of my best days on the bike. Several of the pre-race favorites were in a 7-rider breakaway group with Van Aert and Van der Poel that stayed together until late in the 256.6-kilometer trek from Compiègne to Roubaix. Van der Poel knocked over John Degenkolb with 16 kilometers left as Degenkolb was trying to overtake on the outside on a cobblestone section. Van Aert launched an attack, but the Jumbo-Visma leader had a puncture on his rear tire and Van der Poel soon caught up and then pulled ahead. Roubaix is one of the 5 monument races in one-day cycling, along with the Tour of Flanders, Liège, Bastogne-Liège, the Giro di Lombardia, and Milan-San Remo, owned by Van der Poel last month. He has also twice won Flanders in his career. Israel Adesanya wanted a quick rematch after a November loss to Alex Pereira stripped him of the 185-pound championship belt he had held since 2019. 5 months later, in UFC 287 in Miami early Sunday, Adesanya dropped the middleweight champion Pereira with 2 right hands, then raised his fist in triumph as he took back his middleweight championship belt and cemented his legacy as one of the greatest fighters in the sport's history. I hope every one of you behind the screen or in this arena can feel this level of happiness just one time in your life, Adesanya said. But guess what? You will never feel this level of happiness if you don't go for something. Pereira landed a knee that pushed Adesanya into the cage in the second round. Adesanya came off the cage with 2 right hooks and a right hammer fist, followed by ground and pound to end the fight at 4 minutes and 21 seconds. He successfully defended his title 5 times as he became one of the sport's main draws. He was in unfamiliar territory Saturday as the challenger. Now, latest boxing news. Retired British boxer Amir Khan has been banned from all sports for 2 years after testing positive for a prohibited substance following what proved to be the last fight of his career. Khan, a former light welterweight world champion and Olympic silver medalist, returned a positive result for anabolic agent Osterin after his loss to Kell Brook in Manchester in February 2022. UK anti-doping said Tuesday. Osterin is a selective androgen receptor modulator that can help muscle growth and, according to UKAD, is designed to have similar effects to testosterone. Khan, who announced his retirement 3 months after the fight, accepted a violation of anti-doping rules but said he had not intentionally ingested the substance. That was accepted by an independent panel following a hearing in January. His ban will expire on April 5, 2024. Senior Farrelly says she wouldn't have been able to play soccer again if she hadn't told her story. In 2021, Farrelly and fellow player Mana Shame accused former National Women's Soccer League coach Paul Riley of misconduct and sexual coercion in an article published by The Athletic. The allegations, which he denied, rocked the women's game, sparking a pair of investigations by US Soccer and the NWSL that concluded there was widespread player mistreatment. Farrelly retired more than 6 years ago but returned over the weekend to the game she loves, starting for Ireland on Saturday in an exhibition match against the US national team. She also signed this season with New Jersey and New York Gotham after joining the NWSL team in the preseason as a non-roster invitee. I wouldn't have been able to do it unless I was able to get that off my chest and get that story out, because that healing and the liberation from that had to occur before I could ever play again. So that was a huge catalyst, she said. Farrelly didn't show much rust in Austin on Saturday. The 33-year-old was one of Ireland's most impactful players in the first half, but acknowledged afterward that she was tired, a good kind of tired. The only thing that dwelled her joy was that the Irish lost 2-0. Now, latest world soccer stories. PSG superstar Lionel Messi broke his three-league game goal drought and surpassed Cristiano Ronaldo's record as he scored in the League One away clash against OGC Nice. Messi scored one goal and set up another for Sergio Ramos as Paris Saint-Germain won 2-0 at Nice on Saturday to reassert their 6-point lead at the top of the League One table. Messi has now scored 702 goals in Europe's top 5 leagues, one more than Ronaldo. The Argentine has reached the mark in 105 lesser games than the Portuguese. Messi scored 672 goals in 778 games during his legendary spell at Barcelona. He has now scored 30 goals for PSG, having played 68 games. The Argentine star also reached 1,000 goal contributions, as on top of his 702 goals, he also has given 298 assists in European football. Messi is currently 35 while Ronaldo is 38. Both superstars, however, are still setting benchmarks with their performances. Messi has scored 19 goals and has provided 17 assists in 34 matches for PSG this season. Ronaldo, meanwhile, has scored 11 goals and has provided 2 assists for Al Nassr since making his debut for the Saudi Pro League club in January. Manchester City boss Pep Guardiola said Erling Haaland is at the standard of Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo when it comes to finding the net after scoring twice on his return from injury in a 4-1 win at Southampton on Saturday. Victory took City to within 5 points of Arsenal at the top of the Premier League. Haaland has now scored 44 times in his debut season with the English champions, including 30 in 27 Premier League appearances. The Norwegian's second goal was special as the giant striker acrobatically volleyed home Jack Grealish's cross with an overhead kick. Guardiola said, as a top scorer, we lived 2 incredible decades with Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, but he is on that level. He scores a lot of goals. I am very happy with 65 minutes after injury and he helped us again. Guardiola was true to his word that he was not thinking about Tuesday's Champions League quarterfinal first leg against Bayern Munich, as Haaland's return from a groin injury was the only change from the side that thrashed Liverpool 4-1 last weekend. But the visitors failed to hit the same heights for the first 45 minutes and could have been punished against a side with more firepower than the Saints. Southampton remained rooted to the foot of the table and 4 points adrift of safety. Arsenal blew a 2-goal lead in a pulsating 2-2 draw at Liverpool on Sunday to give Manchester City fresh hope of retaining the Premier League title. Mikel Arteta's men edged 6 points ahead of City at the top of the table, but the defending champions have a game in hand and host the Gunners in a potential title decider later this month. Goals from Gabriel Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus appeared to have Arsenal cruising towards an 8th consecutive league win. But Mohamed Salah pulled a goal back before halftime to spark a Liverpool fight back. Salah missed a second-half penalty before Roberto Firmino headed in the equalizer 3 minutes from time. Jurgen Klopp's men then missed a series of chances to complete the comeback as Arsenal goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale salvaged a point for his side. But the match will also live long in the memory for a remarkable incident just after the halftime whistle when assistant referee Konstantin Hadzikis thrust an elbow into the face of Liverpool left-back Andy Robertson. Crystal Palace routed Leeds 5-1 on Sunday to secure a second straight win under new manager Roy Hodgson and boost its chances of Premier League survival. Hodgson was tempted out of retirement last month as Palace turned to its former manager in a bid to avoid relegation. And he has had an immediate impact, securing maximum points in his first 2 games back in charge of the London club. Jordan Ayew led a second-half scoring spree at Ellen Road after Patrick Bamford had put Leeds ahead after 21 minutes. Mark Guehi evened the score in first-half stoppage time before Palace took charge after the break. Palace moved up to 12th while Leeds remained 16th, 2 points above the relegation zone. Leeds took the lead when Bamford headed home his 50th goal for the club in all competitions. Palace equalised with a close-range finish by Guehi, which was ruled onside after a VAR check. Palace then turned the game on its head, stunning the home crowd with 2 goals in 3 minutes early in the second period. Ayew outjumped Luke Ayling to head home Michael Olise's right-wing cross to make it 2-1 in the 53rd. It was 3-1 in the 55th through Eberechi Eze, and in the 69th, Hudson Edward fired a left-footed shot into the bottom corner. Ayew made it 5-1 with his second goal in the 77th, scoring from 8 yards after Will Hughes' blocked effort fell into his path. Samuel Chukwueze scored twice to inflict a further blow on Real Madrid's title hopes as they were beaten 3-2 by Villarreal at home in La Liga on Saturday, despite twice taking the lead. Carlo Ancelotti's side had been imperious as they thrashed rivals Barcelona 4-0 at the Camp Nou in the Copa del Rey semi-finals on Wednesday. Yet they could not build on that momentum as they fell to a defeat that left them on 59 points in second place and opened the door for Barcelona to go 15 points clear at the summit if they beat Girona on Monday. Real host Chelsea on Wednesday in the first leg of their Champions League quarter-final tie. Wayne Rooney's career as a football player was undoubtedly one of the most outstanding in recent times, but now everything could change course as the England legend could now try his luck as a boxer. It would be quite a remarkable change since he had a very special career, leading teams such as Manchester United and Everton in the Premier League, as well as the England national team. But his destiny would lead him to get involved in this sport, of which he is quite a fan, so it would make sense that this would happen. The promoter Eddie Hearn believes that Wayne Rooney can have an outstanding career, at least with exhibitions, in the world of boxing. Thus, it has even been mentioned that Rooney's career could already have decided his first foe in the ring. It should be remembered that Rooney was known as a rather complicated and problematic player in the early years of his career at Everton, but when he arrived at United under Sir Alex Ferguson, he was able to get back on track. Thus, a possible opponent for the former footballer would be the popular YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul. That's all in today's sports world. Keep watching Millennium Sports World for latest sports news. Millennium TV USA and Millennium News 24 network is transmitted and available to be watched free for all at TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia, available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jadoo TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BT Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with us for all types of informative and entertainment program. Thank you.